Well, not much happening at the moment, but yeah, I've been getting the printer more tuned in, and I've got my vertical Z-axis parallel, so it's not leaning over one way as it prints taller and taller. I thought I'd do a little video update now. I printed these gears I found off the internet of Thingiverse, right? And it's basically 1,379 turns to one. So when you turn that 1,379 turns on here, this ring here turns once. Right, so you won't see it moving really. So I actually have the screwdriver on it as well, and what I'm looking at the moment is a gearbox for my mini lathe. So I want to make a gearbox for a mini lathe. So this obviously is no good for that. So I made some adapters. So I got this off gears for what? Off Thingiverse. So that ring on there is moving, this one here with a line on it, very slowly. So I'm not going to spend all my time turning this and running my battery on my screwdriver down. But as I say, 1,379 turns to one, which is ridiculous. But so I'm printing these height gears at the moment, and for a smaller gearbox, which is 11 to 1, which is more practical, a lot more practical for what I want, because I've got many parts for the mini lathe, but I really want a gearbox for it because I want to be able to use a low torque, high revolution motor to turn the gears. So that I could actually gear down. So I've got quite a lot of stuff to print right now, and I've got quite a lot of parts I need to print. So I've actually stuck the camera at the back of the printer because it's less likely to get knocked. It's over there. I just want to put every time I move the camera at the front, I keep knocking it and bumping into it. So it seemed like a logical place to put it anyway. But let me just check this a minute. Well, there's going to be a lot of support material needs, unfortunately, because of the shape of the gears. Apparently, it's because of the bulge in the middle. These gears are quite tall, really, and there's a bit of a bulge in the middle, and because of that, it needs support material around it. So they're going to look a bit messy as they're printed, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little live stream just to tell you where I am at the moment. I mean, I've got most of the lathe parts in this bucket down here, which you can't really see. I've got many parts. I think I mentioned this previously, but I've got the chuck and everything in there. I can't seem to get it on camera, but that's the only thing about having the camera at the back of the printer. But Yeah, I've got most of the bits for the mini lathe in there, but I need a gearbox, so I want to integrate it all. I don't want to start building the lathe and then realise I don't have enough room for the gearbox. So I thought I'll get a gearbox that works, and then I'll work out the kind of bed surface, the frame that holds it all, and I'll get the measurements then, and I will basically go from there. So, yeah, it's been pretty quiet lately. It's been pretty quiet at the back end of winter. Well, it's the start of winter and the end of summer. Can't get my words out today. Well, the weather's not been so good. Actually, what's the day? Today is the 4th of November. Actually, today is supposed to be Guy Fawkes night. It's supposed to be, but it's weird, the fireworks have been pretty quiet this year. Surprisingly, we haven't had a lot going off. We've had a few going off, which is nice still, but there's not been as many, so it's been a little bit quieter, thank God, because I really hate the fireworks. They're just noisy. So, if I remember, when I sliced these gears on the slicer program, I think this particular set was about 3 hours or something to print. Hopefully the printer is going to do its job and not quit on me, because I've still had the occasional timeout error or something, because I don't know what's going on there, because I've got new hot end and new thermistors and everything, and I've replaced a lot of the wiring and sorted that out. But every now and then, it just stops halfway through a print, but there's no error message or anything on the screen. It just stops, like the data stops travelling. I don't know why. But it's obviously another problem somewhere with it that I don't know about. It might be just overheating somewhere, but I've got the fan set right on the back to keep the EEPROM cool as well, because I don't know if the EEPROM's getting too warm or not, but anyway, I've been trying to keep it all cool, and yeah, it's just making sure the fan's pointing in the right place, I suppose, and all that. There might be these ribbon cables aren't very reliable either. There might be a ribbon cable issue or something. I'll have to figure that out at some point. But anyway, so yeah, just a little update. I'll get back when I get the money, and I've got some bills to take care of at the moment. I've got my phone bill, I've got a few other bills to sort out, which I need to get caught up on, and hopefully then I can get back to my project, my energy project. But at the moment, the lathe is kind of priority right now, because let's face it, I've spent the last couple of years working on my energy project, my free energy project, and it really hasn't come to a really good solution at the moment. It hasn't really manifested any positive results. So I thought, well, let's turn my attention to something which I know is going to be positive, which is the mini lathe project, because it's something I can use, and it's going to help me a lot in the future when I need to make some parts for future projects, So I figured, well, let's get that made, because it'll be done then. I'll have something I can use, and it'll also help to save money when I need to make some parts. Instead of ordering things off the internet, I could maybe tap some of my own threads and screws, and I could recycle some plastic and lathe it down or something. I don't know, we'll see. Well, I do have a lot of molten plastic which I melted down with acetone, and I could put that into molds and let it dry and harden and to make long sticks, and then use those sticks on the mini lathe at some point to make threaded rods and things. Well, that's what I'm thinking. Or I can just get some nylon rods and cut and shape those down to what I want. This mini lathe is really just for doing plastic work. Really, it's not really for doing metal. But I'm pretty sure that with a diamond cutting wheel on there, I could probably cut metal as well. But I'll have to keep my heat down, or I'll have to build a water cooling system or something onto it to keep things cool when I'm doing that. Well, we'll see anyway how it goes on, because there's all sorts to do, really. There's all kinds of things that can be done. I could certainly have it. I've got a little I've got something which could be made into a water pump or something. Or I could get a fish tank water pump as a cooling thing, to pump some water around. I mean, because it's plastic, this middle layer, it's not going to rust or anything, so it might be a good idea. But the problem I have really is the gears. The gears have got to be fairly solid because I've noticed that the printer tends to print the gears hollow. And hollow teeth are not good because they can the skin can wear off and then they can just collapse and break on you. So I'm going to have to solve that problem. The only way, there's a few solutions with that. I could make the actual main driving gear and cast a mold and make it out of resin, solid resin, and make a mold and make an actual solid gear. So that one's not going to melt. Because one of the problems I've noticed on the Gears for What website, or Thingiverse, on YouTube, is when he spins them up at high speed, the primary driving gear actually tends to melt. So that particular gear probably needs to be something much harder, or even metal. But I don't know about metal, but I might be able to use something like a combination of resin mixed in with some iron filings or something to make a much harder, tougher driving gear mechanism. That's one possibility, and it'll also certainly conduct heat away as well if I do that. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am at the moment. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not going to go live for too long. It's kind of boring. But as I say, I got the printer pretty accurate. I am still having some issues with my y-axis. Objects I print on a square object, for example, on the left side, it still seems to be taller horizontally, longer on the left side than it is on the right side. I've been in touch with the Repetier forum and the support guys, and none of them seem to know what's causing this problem either. And the actual printer is square, it's straight, so I mean it shouldn't print longer on the left side than on the right because the axis of the x-axis bars are parallel to the bed. So yeah, I just don't get that at all. It's a mystery. It's a real mystery, but it's not going to affect things too much, really. It's not going to affect smaller things like small gears and things very much. So that's the main thing. It only seems to be noticeable on larger objects, that are something like 150 millimeters wide by 150 millimeters. And then I notice there's an extra millimeter on the far left-hand side, which is something I don't want, but I mean, when you translate that down to a small gear, it's not going to show up really. We're talking about 0.05 of a millimeter, so it's not really going to be a problem really for gears and things, as long as the gears aren't too big. As long as I'm making giant gears, which I don't really want giant gears anyway, so yeah. Anyway, that's that for now.